What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another predicted lineup video as we face Manchester City at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 4:30 kickoff on Sunday. Stellini taking the press conference today because Antonio Conte is recovering from his operation. And in terms of team news, I think for the first time this season, we've got a clean bill of health.
Yeah, absolutely no injuries. Lucas and Richarlison are back in the squad and available. Everyone else, Porro is also available. Stellini confirms. The only person who's a doubt is Conte himself. He's obviously he had surgery.
You can't make this shit up, can you? You just can't make it up.
He obviously had surgery on his to remove his gallbladder, and Stellini said we'll have to wait until maybe tomorrow or on Sunday to see if we'll be attending the game or taking charge. Unlikely he'll take charge, I think. But we obviously wish him a speedy recovery, and he'll probably be in attendance, I reckon.
Let's hope so. But let's get into the predicted lineup. We're going for a 3-4-3 formation as per usual. In goal is going to be Hugo Lloris, and let's have no repeats of the Etihad. Yeah,
and in a lot of big games, he's made a lot of big mistakes this season, even in not so big games, but especially against the top six, against Arsenal and against Man City. He hasn't put in good displays. He has had a 2-week break now. Hopefully that will help with his, quote, mental freshness, which he said he's struggling with after the World Cup. And hopefully he has a good second half of the season, and hopefully it starts in this game.
All right, so that's Hugo Lloris in goal. Right wing back, we're going to give a debut to Pedro Porro at right wing back. Obviously, used to be on Man City's books as well, so maybe that'll give him a bit of extra motivation. But look, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be completely surprised if Emerson started this game.
Yeah, but Stellini was very complimentary about Pedro Porro in his press conference, saying about how he's used to this. He's played five at the back before. He's used to the system. He's technically a very good player, and he could be in the team for Sunday. So we are going to go for it. We're thinking that maybe Tottenham might give it a good go on Sunday, attacking-wise, and Porro could be a big part of that, and I'm super excited. I think it'll give an air of excitement if he's in the lineup as well. So we're going to put Porro straight in.
All right, so Porro at right wing back, right centre back obviously is going to be Cuti Romero, and he's going to be so vital for us if we're going to keep Man City at bay.
It was probably the only shining light in the game of the Etihad in terms of our back line, Romero. Hopefully a repeat of that performance. Yeah, not too much to say. He's going to be very vital if we're going to get anything out of this game.
Yeah, and alongside him in the middle is going to be Eric Dyer. Did come out of the game for one. He did get rested for one game, but he's been ever present since then, so I can't see him coming out.
Yeah, I think he's a stalwart in the team. Again, maybe the break will have done him well from the FA Cup. So, yeah, I think he has to start.
And then to make up that back three, we're actually going to side with Ben Davies over Clement Longley for this one.
Yeah, Longley played in the FA Cup game. Davis has actually been all right of late. So we're thinking he's better suited for this game as well. So Davis comes back into the team.
And then to make up that back five is going to be Ivan Perisic at left wing back, and he had a disaster class at the Etihad a couple of weeks ago. Hopefully there's no repeat of that because he literally was terrible.
Yeah, hopefully he would have learned from that game. Mahrez really gave him all sorts of trouble throughout the whole second half, and he was making uncharacteristic mistakes as well. So hopefully he would have got over that. He did play up front in his last performance against Preston, so back to left wing back this time. But I guess you could say there's a case for Sessegnon maybe to be a bit more defensively solid, but Sessegnon just hasn't been playing well recently, so I think Perisic will keep his place.
Yeah, so let's run through that back line with you guys one more time. It's Hugo Lloris in goal, Romero, Dyer, Davis, Porro and Perisic on the wing backs. And, you know, Dyer and Davis aside, that's starting to look like a bit more of an Antonio Conte side, isn't it?
Definitely, especially those flying wing backs is a staple of the team, and they're hopefully going to be a lot more effective in the final third than what we've seen from Emerson and Doherty so far. So I can't wait to see Porro, what he can bring.
All right, let's move on to the midfield now, and we're going to talk about Rodrigo Bentancur, who's going to be on the right-hand side of the midfield. And all of a sudden, that right-hand side against Man City, it looks like starting to be pretty strong.
Yeah, and he was vital when we scored up in the Etihad early in the season with a few weeks ago with his high press, and he's one who really covers so much ground with good quality pressing as well, wins the ball in such good areas, and we're going to need him to do that in this game if we're going to stop Man City playing their football. So, of course, Bentancur has to play.
Yeah, and alongside him, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg was out the side for the Preston game, which tells us he will come in, albeit Bissouma did come in and have a good display.
He did, but history tells us when Højbjerg has plays too many games and has a break, he usually comes back a bit fresher. Remember, it happened last season. He was playing so many games, and then his form was starting to dip, and he just needed to come out of the team for a game before for a refresh. So hopefully the same impact will have for this game, and hopefully we'll see the Højbjerg of earlier in the season return.
We need to get Højbjerg back at it, don't we? Because he was so key to us in the first part of the season, one of our better players for sure. And for one reason or another, where it's overplaying or too many games or whatever it may be, his form has dipped. But if we can get them two playing together again, Højbjerg and Bentancur, to the levels that we saw last season and earlier parts of this season, then the midfield's starting to look good again, that's for sure. So Højbjerg and Bentancur in the double pivot, and then the front line is fairly straightforward. So on the right-hand side, going to be Decky, Dejan Kulusevski, who has he scored against every game against Man City?
Yeah, 2 and 2.
Hasn't he? Yeah.
2 and 2. Both at the Etihad. Hasn't played against them at home yet, so he'll be a first for him. But obviously, a nice finish at the Etihad to put us 1-0 up. Or was actually gave Ake a torrid time throughout the game, to be honest, and was unlucky not to have contributed more goal contributions in that game. But Kulusevski, he's our hub of creativity, and we're going to need him massively, so he has to play.
Yeah, and then on the left-hand side is going to be Heung-min Son, back on form in the FA Cup, albeit against Preston. Hopefully he can take some confidence from that game, especially with the goals he scored, and put in a display against Man City, which we've come accustomed to.
We have. Conte slash Delaney has still been very reluctant to drop him even after poor performances of late. And then against Man City, he didn't play quite well. And against Fulham, he was a bit off it again. But still, he kept in the team. But you could argue maybe he was rewarded with the nice brace against Preston. So after that brace, I can't see him being dropped for this game, and hopefully he can return to being that threat in behind in this game as well. So I think he starts. Yeah,
I completely agree. And then up front is obviously going to be the main man, which is Harry Kane, bidding to become Tottenham's leading goal scorer of all time outright. Obviously he is currently level with Jimmy Greaves, so one more goal and he is in the Tottenham history books forever. So yeah, that's Harry Kane.
Definitely, yeah, he's going to be massive if we're going to get anything out of this game. I thought he was playing quite well at the Etihad as well, but we obviously need him to be completely on this game, bullying the centre backs and bringing other players into play if Spurs are to make the most out of when they have the ball.
Yeah, so let's run through that lineup with you guys one more time. In goal, Hugo Lloris. Right wing back, Pedro Porro. Right centre back, Cuti Romero. In the middle is going to be Eric Dyer. Left sided is going to be Ben Davis. Left wing back, Ivan Perisic. A double pivot of Rodrigo Bentancur and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Dejan Kulusevski on the right wing, Sonny Boy on the left wing, and Harry Kane up top. If this is the formation, what is your score prediction?
I'm going to go 2-2. I'm thinking if that's the team, I think it's quite offensive. I think it's got more than enough to really give City problems going the other way. Defensively, big question marks, obviously. Man City... they showed of them, they turn on the style, they're hard to stop. So I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. But if we can really make the most of our in-play possession, I think we've got the tools now with Porro there. Both sides we're going to have threats to be able to hurt Man City, and then obviously the front three. And then as well, add to that, you've got Danjuma now, Richarlison and Lucas all able to come off the bench and make an impact, which is going to be vital if we need to change the game, or if we need to stretch Man City if we're in the lead and we need to make the most of our counter-attacks and transitions. So I think we got options, but I just can't see our defence holding up. So 2-2.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because obviously we went 2-0 up at the Etihad, conceded 4 goals in that second half. But I'm feeling a bit more confident coming into this game. Man City haven't had it all their own way of late. They are on the back of 2 away losses in a row, one in the Cup against Southampton and one in the league against Manchester United. I've got a feeling there could be something in there for us if we play our cards right tonight on Sunday. With Pedro Porro adding to that right-hand side will give us a big option down that right-hand side. So if Sonny can be at it and we can all perform to a really high level and keep them out somewhat, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Spurs with Sonny and Harry Kane on the score sheet. Let me know your score predictions in the comment section below. Let me know what lineup you want to see as well in the comment section below. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always,
come on you Spurs.